Should we do some intro? We should do some snazzy intro, right? You had something.
Snazzy intro.
You had something prepared, right? You've been working on it all for a month straight.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely.
Okay, lead it. Lead it. Let's do it.
This is the intro. Welcome.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
That's the intro.
I am. I'm so okay. All right. Okay. Let's just start. That's cool. No big deal. What are you thinking? So we're gonna talk about League of Legends Worlds.
Yeah.
How far? What do you want to start with? You want to start with NA's performance?
Yeah, let's like build our way up to the good stuff, I guess, and just start with the embarrassments.
Obviously that's what we were looking for first. Really, you never assume. Well, you assume they're going to get knocked out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, but it's more like, when are we going to get knocked out? We know
Yeah.
we're going to lose, but make me feel good about it.
Yeah, put on a show.
Yeah, but do something. You know?
I felt like watching NA this year that I missed Cloud9's original roster.
Yeah. I mean, they got stomped a few times too, but
I feel like 100 Thieves put on a show. That's how I felt.
100 Thieves definitely outperformed what they should have. They played better than they should have. You know?
Big Dokes.
Yeah, but I like Big Dokes.
I
I
like
gotta say,
Dokla.
with everything that's gone on,
Uh-huh.
with all like the Whippo coming after him, his response, the way he's just played in general, he was creating a lot of space. He was playing well.
Yeah, I really appreciated. Yeah, Dokla was playing really well, and I really appreciated that it was like the combination of Dokla doing well, Bwipo shitting the bed, and also the casters just like stroking Dokla.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that Whippo shat the bed. I don't think it went that bad. But like the same mistakes that constantly plague him kept plaguing him. You know what I mean?
Well, when I say shit the bed, I mean like there was like at least one game that I can think of that I remember that he just lost them the game. And
Well,
like
that
you
Rumble
can't
game.
yeah, the Rumble game. And it's like you can't afford to do that when you're in Worlds and you're already like an underdog cuz you're from an A. What if he didn't and lose them that game? Might they have gone further?
Yeah, who was that against? Was that in the elimination? Was that the
Yeah,
first elimination series or the second one?
I don't remember.
Well, let's get back to 100 Thieves.
100 Thieves.
Yeah, Big Dokes played out his mind. He created a ton of space. He played well. I'm assuming he's going to be on a team next year. I don't see how he wouldn't be,
I don't see how he
because
wouldn't be.
100 Thieves is disbanding or whatever. They're dissolving.
Mhm.
I think he definitely played his way into a job. The team outperformed what their expectations were by a long shot. They got the worst draw in the tournament, probably, right?
Yeah, they got railed with their lineup.
Yeah, and I mean the first matchup's supposed to be bad, so they didn't get fucked out of that one, right? Their first matchup was BLG,
Yeah, and they stomped him.
and they won that one, off of uh,
Dokla.
off of Ben tilting, right? Yeah, I've never noticed that before. He has to be a tilter. That him like inting into the turret with Rek'Sai. After that, he just started running it down. After that, he had that
That
like
shit was so funny.
he had that engage where like the TP wasn't even coming out yet, and he engaged into three people, and like he died. I want to say a couple seconds before the TP even came out, and the TP wasn't even close to him.
Yeah.
It was like to the point where I was like, this guy has to be frothing in the mouth. You know what I mean? He has rabies. He's going insane.
Yeah. The Rek'Sai play too, the one top where he was like I guess he was trying to stop Dokla from backing or something. I don't know. But it was just like it played out so like Looney Tunes funny because like You see him like burrow in and then like freeze for a second, like,
That's
wait,
the kind of
what?
thing that you would expect to happen in a silver game. And then for the silver top laner to say you're a dog after you do that. That's what you aren't expecting to see something like that at Worlds.
You pig.
Like you wouldn't even be expecting to see something like that in Diamond. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I
something like
mean,
that happens. Something like that happens in Worlds from what people feel like is one of the best top laners. Even if he's fallen out down a little bit, he was regarded as the best or the second best, one of the two. Now he's just regarded as one of the best.
he sure is a top laner.
Yeah, he's like he's a guy. He's a human. That was a crazy one. And after that, it just felt like he tilted. But either way, 100 Thieves, in some fashion, you have to like force tilting, right? Like you have to press, you have to make it happen. So they played well enough that game. But
Hmm.
then their draws just continued to be bad.
Yeah, they got eliminated by T1. But they took them to all games, right? They fought hard.
Yeah, like they lost. I mean, they got 2-0'd by T1, I think, right?
Oh,
But
did they? Well, they were close games.
yeah, like I think the first game in particular, like they fought pretty decently, much more than you would expect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, they got eliminated, but they did way better than anybody would have expected them to. Probably a lot of people coming in maybe thought they would just go straight losses all the way down. And even in their losses, they still were competing most of the time. So they did solid. Um, but now FlyQuest, though. This was
Mm.
the team that actually had expectations. They've made quarters, I think, the last 2 years in a row. So they had pretty lofty expectations coming in. The expectation was, I would say, quarters again. And then it's like exceeding would have been making it to semis, right? But you kind of expect some things have to go right for that to happen.
Mhm.
I think maybe the expectations were quarters in general going into the tournament.
Mhm.
That did not happen.
No.
And I mean, they just had some games where you were just watching them and they did not look like they were on the same page.
No. Not
It
at
was
all.
like that T1 game where they kind of just sat there and did nothing until they lost.
Yeah, their first game.
Yeah, it's like I think there was a point where Lucio engaged, Inspired was standing there and he just like watched.
Yeah, he just did nothing. He just kind of like floundered back and forth and didn't do anything.
I don't remember if he just watched close enough to where they killed him after. Do you remember what happened with that?
I think I think they got him,
Like,
but
did they catch
yeah,
him?
I mean, he was like standing right there. He was like basically in the Nico ult himself, and he just kind of walked back and forth and didn't do anything.
That drives me fucking insane, by the way, when that happens in my games.
Yeah.
You just like have some jackass that's just like watching you not help. And then it's like
Yeah.
if it's like you're like, okay, cool. I'm a little annoyed that you didn't help me, but you just leave, right? You're letting
Yeah.
me die. Just let me die. Okay, that's fine. If you don't think it's a good enough fight, just leave. And I'll just say you suck in my mind and that can just be that. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was unwinnable. But when they just sit there and watch you and then they die 5 seconds later,
It was a great engage by Busio too.
I don't know if he obviously he thought it wasn't going to work, right? That's
I
why he
don't
didn't help.
I don't know if there was anything going on in his mind. It didn't look like it.
Yeah, for some reason he didn't think it was winnable. I don't 100% remember the play. Like I said, I don't even remember if he died or not. I do remember like that was the start of the weirdness where you're just like, are
Yeah.
these guys like ready to play?
Are y'all awake?
Because they just weren't on the same page. One person's engaging, one person's just watching. Another person comes in, I believe, later into the fight. And then that game, there was just a lot of inactivity by Inspired in general,
Yeah.
where he kind of just seemed like a bystander, and then they slowly lost. And then
Yeah.
after that game, I was like, uh oh. You know what I mean? Uh oh. This does not look like a team that's like ready to make it to quarters.
Yeah. But then they got easy teams.
They got a wildly easier road compared to 100 Thieves.
Yeah, so FlyQuest in round 1 had T1 and they got smashed.
Yeah, that was like an inactivity game. Yeah, that one
And
was
then round
next.
2 they had VKS. Round 3 they had Team Secret Whales.
Yeah, so those are just 2 wins, which put them at 2-1,
Yeah. So round 4, they had G2.
which should like that should have been a win.
Yep, but they lost 2-1.
Hmm.
And then round 5, they got 2-0'd by Flying Oysters,
Oh
which
yeah,
CFO looked really good. So
yeah. I mean, kinda. They got completely smashed in their quarters matchup, so they weren't that good.
yeah, but I mean, like, what was it? Their region hasn't been to Worlds, like hasn't made it to quarters in 10 years. So
Yeah, that was kind
like,
of surprising by me or from me because that they used to like always be making it in,
yeah.
but I guess it's been a long time. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, it had been a long time since they made it to quarters. So, and I mean, they didn't have an easy road either.
No,
Uh they took out Fnatic in round 1. They beat T1 in round 2. They took one game off AL in round 3. They lost to HLE, and then they 2-0'd FlyQuest for quarters to make quarters. But then going back to 100 Thieves Road, their first game was BLG.
one of the tournament favorites,
Yikes.
who obviously ended up not being, but who knows? They might have 100 Thieves might have tilted their way right to the airport. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
They might have
maybe.
started the speed run. Who knows if that one Rek'Sai had not died there? Maybe they're just in the finals or something.
But all of 100 Thieves matchups was either LPL or LCK.
Yeah, they had 100% China. They had 100% Eastern matchups.
Yeah, it was BLG, then Top Esports, then HLE, then T1.
Hmm.
So, really rough road. And, I think they did well with what they were handed.
And then that G2 matchup with FlyQuest, that one hurt a little bit. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
I
But I will say it
huh?
did make me like G2 a little bit. I didn't want to.
Shut up.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to. But the reel they posted after those games, it was just a montage of Bwippo getting smashed, just inting. And and then the caption was, when you suspect your bro's playing on his period account but can't prove it. I was like, oh my God. Their marketing, I swear.
We both like a little bit of pettiness, and
And
that was a
and
little more than little. So it
and
was
G2 went for the throat.
yeah, that was good. I like that too, but I still I'll get into it later. But I'm just tired of these guys. I'm tired of these motherfuckers. Okay.
I mean, I get it. I get it. I do. But that was good.
It was very good. But that I think the thing I disliked the most was that third game draft where they saw the Mundo, right? They
Hmm.
knew they needed damage to cut through the Mundo.
And then they picked Lucian.
Was it Lucian?
I think, yeah, it was Lucian.
Yeah. So it's just kind of I mean, at that point you just need to win early, I think. Or else it's not going to happen. And then they just put the whole game in Quid's hands and said, "You're the Azir. You're the only one that can kill Mundo." Like once you get into the mid game,
Yeah.
you're the only one that can do it. The whole game's in your hands. Good luck. And that's just not. I don't feel he is a good player, but that's not something they really ask of him a lot. He's not like the star player where they're constantly putting the game in his hands.
Yeah.
So it just felt like right when I saw that draft, I was like, "Oh, this does not look good." And it played out exactly how you would think it was played out. They like stalled them long enough. The Mundo hit 16 and they just instantly won.
Like, I think they had, like, Jinx was up too, didn't they? And the casters all thought Mossy would take Jinx, and then the Lucian came through, and it was like, what?
Yeah, they just didn't pick anyone that could actually cut through the Mundo. I mean, there were a bunch of choices. It didn't have to be Jinx, but the Lucian felt odd because it was just a duo. It was just a duo DPS game, but then it's like only a single DPS game that can actually beat the front line at that point.
Yeah.
With what they drafted. So that's what it's saying. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. It felt like it was just always going to be a loss.
Yeah, and then they did just get run over by Mundo.
Yeah, once the game got long enough, they got ran over, and they weren't playing with a sense of urgency, like they knew that. Like
Yeah.
I didn't feel like they were really pushing to be like, hey, in 10 minutes we're just going to lose this game, guys. So we need to win like in the next 5 6 minutes. It felt like they hit the mid game and then they were just like, oh, we'll just play it out, we'll win eventually. That like there was no sense of urgency with their gameplay.
Well, it was also like you said, they kind of like put everything on Azir, and like Azir's a late game character.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
what's the play here? Like what?
I mean, he did shred. He shredded the Mundo in the mid game.
Yeah, yeah, he did.
Like he did what he was supposed to do, but then it gets late and it's like you just have to
Mundo
win
hit
us the game.
16.
Yeah, you just now you are the only person that can win us this game now. And I just think that's a weird situation to be when, like I said, he's a very good player, but he's not like your number one star player that you're always counting on him to do that. So they're just like, hey, no pressure. We're just in an elimination game at Worlds and it's all on you. Based off our draft. No big deal, right? So
Yeah,
that felt odd to me. Um, but the thing that hurts the most, I think, is I had this narrative in my head about EU and NA,
yeah,
about how many slots we get, and this didn't feed into my narrative. So I got really annoyed, you know?
yeah,
Because I think oh, and this is how most Western fans are. Once your side gets eliminated, you typically just go to the other side. You're like, once NA is eliminated, you go to EU. Once EU is eliminated, you go to NA. Like, usually that's how it's gone. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And that's how I always have been in the past. But these slots going into Worlds have just been fucking annoying me. Because
yeah,
I think we've
yeah,
had 2 slots for the past few years, I want to say.
yeah. But we've outperformed EU the last few
But
years.
yeah, the last 3 years we've made it out of groups. Not this year. So, excluding this year. So it's kind of
Yeah,
weird to me that EU keeps getting 3 slots, even though essentially we've been the third best region.
yeah,
This year we were the fifth best region, but in the 3 years prior to this, we were the third best region. And then we get
yeah,
2 teams like that. It's just if so it. I just feel like me personally, like it should just go year to year. How many slots you get and what they're like ranked going into worlds.
yeah. Based on like how you've performed.
Yeah, at this tournament because this is Worlds, this is the decider. So like this year, and this is how most years would be, or this is most years. Korea would be 1, China would be 2. That's how most Worlds go, right?
Right?
So China, Korea gets the 1. I think Korea should just get. I don't think they should have to battle China for 4 teams next year. I think Korea should just get 4 teams. You
Right.
know what I mean? And then China should get 3. EU was the third highest region this year. They got because I don't think Flying Oysters got a game, right?
What do you
I
mean?
think I think they just got 3 0'd
In
quarters.
yeah, they got 3-0'd by KT, which KT was, went to grand finals, so
Yeah, but G2 went 3-1, so they're the third best region. The
yeah,
CFO region, I forget what they're called. Was it LCL or something like that?
LCP?
LCP. Yeah, they would be the fourth region. We'd be the fifth, based off performance, right?
Right.
Because I think also one of the things that got fucked up with the tournament is they aren't pre-ranking going into going into the Swiss stage teams properly, which created
Mhm.
some weird matchups. Like I personally think like the 1 and 2 from Korea should both be like 1 slots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And same thing with China. Like the 1 2 should be 1 slots. And from something like the third region, fourth region, fifth region, I think our 1 slot should count as 2 slots, probably. Our like number one performing team. They shouldn't be slotted in the same with the same performance as a LCK and an LPL 1 seed and 2 seed.
Yeah, yeah.
We've proven over the years that we aren't on that level, so we shouldn't be in matchups that show that we are on that level. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because like it was a really weird point in the tournament when what was it? We're both Gen G and T1 1-1, right? I think that was a matchup, one of the 1-1 matchups.
One of going into in round 2 of Swiss.
Round 3, but yeah.
Round 3. Yeah, yeah, Genji and T1
which
faced
then
off in
meant
round
one of
3.
those teams was going to end up being 1 and 2. So then one of the teams that was 1 and 2 has to play them to be eliminated.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There were some very odd matchups that like it was a cascading effect from round one, having matchups that shouldn't have existed in the first place. And
Yeah.
that's just from pre-ranking teams properly. We need to stop acting like the number one from EU, the number one from NA is the same thing as the number one from LCK and LPL. They're not. They've proven it. So that's my main issue with these tournaments is we aren't giving the slot. We're somewhat skewing it to give slots and to give positioning to teams that are successful or to regions that are successful, but not quite enough. And it should be year to year. It shouldn't be like some
Yeah.
weird thing like, oh, well, EU made finals 10 years ago. So they're, you know what I mean? Like, it
Yeah.
just should be year to year. And as much as it pains me, because they fucked up, EU is number 3. So they should have more slots than us, slash better positioning for the first round.
Right.
Because they've proven that they should. And you
Yeah, I
shouldn't
agree with
prove
that.
things at like MSI. It should just be from this.
Right.
And like if and it'll always change based off how you did the last year.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I just feel like we had kind of earned 3 teams getting in.
Yeah, but then we got 2 and Cloud9 got knocked out and
Yeah, and who knows? Cloud9 might have played better. Cloud9 might have made a quarters. You don't know. It's
yeah.
like sometimes like team dynamics and like just matchups. Certain matchups are better than other matchups. Some teams crack under the pressure. Some teams, all the players hate each other. I honestly feel like there had to be some internal turmoil with FlyQuest the way they were playing,
I mean,
and
did
some
you
of
see
the
the
and some of
look
the
on
interviews
Inspired's
after.
face?
That boy looks like he gets heated up.
He was red in the face.
He was ready to scream at someone.
It
I
it,
do
it
have a
was
suspicion he's a rager. I just suspect.
it was very thinly concealed rage. He has like no poker face whatsoever. He looked pissed.
What do you think that team should do?
Get Dokla.
Oh, get big dokes?
Get big I mean, they already kicked Bwippo, so
Yeah, they kind of had to.
I think their bot lane is really solid, and that should stay.
Yep, I
Um,
agree.
I think, and we've talked about this before, I think Inspired is a really good player, but he does just kind of play for himself.
Yep.
So I don't know. Like, obviously, they've had like some success. Like, FlyQuest has been strong ish especially in an A. Like, they've been pretty dominant. But I just don't know what the vibes are like, with Inspired. I don't know. Like, mechanically, definitely like their best player, but he does just kind of play for himself.
He does have a bit of a solo queue style
Yeah.
where
So,
he looks to full clear a lot. He looks to always be like ready to get the next camp into CS well. And he looks to get a lot of like freebie ganks where he
yeah.
doesn't waste any time. And he's just like he's there after his last camp going either to like mid or top or bot or mid, you know what I mean? Whichever side he's on. Like
Yeah.
on the timing where he should be there anyway. Just and like when the thing about it as a jungler, when that works, you are so fucking ahead.
Yeah.
When you can like efficiently farm everything and just get a kill at the end of it, you get so far ahead. But in games where you miss opportunities because of it, laners can really get behind. And he does play a style where it does seem to be more about him getting ahead than teammates getting ahead.
Right. And I don't know. I don't know if that's ever going to do incredibly well on an international stage.
Yeah, because there have been a lot of players that have done that before where they're like power farming junglers, but typically that works the best when you have the better players. But going into an
Exactly.
international, the other teams are always going to have better players. Like their teams are, and then when you do this power farming strat and you don't have better team fight than them, it kind of becomes unwinnable.
Yeah. especially when you're playing into junglers that do play like for their team and set stuff up and make sick engages and
It's very hard for me to decide what the team should do too, because a like you were saying, we don't know the team dynamics. But just if we were just assuming there's no ill will with the dynamic, like everybody likes each other, just assuming that,
Mhm.
it's kind of hard to tell because you know, inspired. A lot of times he's like a secondary engage. He lets Busio do a lot of the engaging, and he lets Whippo do a lot of the like chaos work, where
Mhm.
Whippo just comes in and creates havoc, and then like he capitalizes off of it. So
Yeah.
I don't know how he would perform being the primary engager all the time. If you're unsure how he would perform in those scenarios, now you need to build a team where he can keep doing what he's doing, right? So it's hard as a coach or a GM to discern if he needs to change his style or we should continue grabbing players that will facilitate that style.
Right.
So like Dokla is a good engager, he is a good team fighter from what I've seen. He's just not as good of a laner as some of the other people. But he looks like he knows his way around a team fight very well and is very good at creating
Yes.
space.
Yes,
So
exactly.
he would be a good candidate for that team, I would say. But it does
That's what
limit
I'm
your
saying.
option. It does limit your options if you're saying we have to keep this same dynamic while losing Blippo.
But they've already lost Bwipo. And just how sweet would that be after all the shit that Bwipo said about Dokla if he gets replaced by him?
That would be a slight cucking.
And like I said, I think he is just good for that team.
It does make sense. Yeah, it's not even just a hateful thing. It
Yeah,
does
it's
kind
not
of
just the
work.
spiteful petty side of me. I do think he would work well on that team and also fuck Bwipo.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like hate Whippo. I just think he has a self control problem and he just talks. You know?
Y- yeah.
It's like there's some extent, and I'm not like saying this as an apologist. I'm not like a fan of his. It's just like he does seriously just seem to have a problem with shutting the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like honestly like uh, it's more I'm more annoyed by the shit that he said about Dokla because that was hateful. The shit that he said about women was like ignorant, like dumb as hell.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
It's like
stop talking. You're too dumb to have this conversation.
yeah,
Like
it's like
just stop talking.
even though technically it's worse, you're just like it's so idiotic that
Yeah.
it's just like a madman raving.
Yeah.
But then yeah, I kind of agree with that. But
But the
then
the
the
Dokla
Dokla
stuff is
stuff,
hateful.
it is more hateful. Yeah, it's
It's
like
just hateful.
some of the stuff he was saying was like essentially you've wasted your life, right?
Yeah, like your career is like way pointless or something.
Yeah, like you've spent all this time playing this game and like essentially you just haven't had the career that I've had. Like that was like the base. That's not exactly what he said, but that was kind of like what he was alluding to.
Yeah.
Which by the way is such a fucking weird thing to say
Yeah,
because
it's completely out of pocket.
it's like any player that plays League would love to be in Dokla's position even pre him going to Worlds, right? We're just
Yeah.
like he has a job playing League. Like how is that a waste? Like you're playing a game for money, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so already it's kind of dumb, and it's kind of this mentality of you see it all the time as a player, right? Where it's like the guy that's like one bracket ahead talking shit on the bracket below him. I
Yeah,
don't know
like
why. It's like gold players talk shit on silver players, and like diamond players are like, you must be emerald. It's like they're like one bracket higher. It kind of feels like that. He's like, I'm a pro, and I've had a bit of a better career than you. I've done a few of these things that you haven't done. Why have you wasted your time, you dumb bitch?
and I also love that Dokla is just like fuck that guy. I don't
Yeah,
like
I
him.
like that he called it out. And that's when I was like, I think I might be a Dokla fan all of a sudden.
And
When
he like
he's
wouldn't
like,
fist bump him before the match, like just
mhm.
cuz he's like I don't respect him. Like it's disrespect, but it's earned disrespect.
Exactly. Yeah. I think there's a lot of times in sports and anything competitive, you're kind of told to not stir shit up because you give the other team ammo, right?
Right.
So I get annoyed when there's interviews where people just don't say anything because they're just PRing everything. So it was kind of refreshing for Dokla being like, I don't like this guy because he said XYZ. Thank you. Just be straight up by all means. So at that point, just him saying that
I became a Dokla fan.
and being like, I'm not even going to fuck around with it. This is my problem with this guy. And then I looked into it. It's like, what did he say actually? Because I had no clue. And then once I read it, I'm like, oh, yeah, 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 fuck him for sure. And
Yep,
that's the exact take
100%.
I would have too if that happened to me. It's like, go fuck yourself, bro.
Yeah.
But again, it's kind of like, I don't even know if Whippo can control himself, which is by not an excuse. I would fucking hate the guy if I was in Dokla's position.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's all malice. I just don't know what's going on with this kid.
Yeah, he's an odd duck.
He is a little bit an odd duck. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with that team.
I just hope they get Dokla.
If Inspired is a rager and he's making everybody walk on eggshells, I don't know how long he'll last as like a top talent, you know?
Yeah.
Like I've seen it in sports all the time. There's players that are super talented and teams will put up with you. Like, but they have extremely bad attitudes. Teams will put up with you for a very long as you're a top tier talent. But the moment you're like solid and not elite, you're just gone.
Yeah, because that really does matter so much because like your team is much more likely to crack under high pressure situations if they're already afraid to make a mistake or lose because like you're gonna make mistakes. No one's a fucking robot.
Yeah, it's like I said, we don't know if he's like this. I'm just suspecting it. Did you feel a little bit of that at Reed?
Yeah, yeah, no, dude looked. I mean, like I said, he was just fucking red in the face. Now it's possible that he gets really mad, but he doesn't lash out at his team.
Yeah, it's like we have no way of knowing for sure. But if he is like that, a lot of
Then
times
yeah.
players like that, their careers are cut short because the moment they're not top tier, they're just out.
And I know in their elimination match for MSI this past year, coming back on stage for like game 4 or 5, Masu looked really rattled.
Hmm.
Like he looked like near tears, like shaken. And I'm like, something is not good. Like, and like I said, it's possible he was just upset with himself, or whatever, but it's also possible that teammates or coaches are like raging at them because they dumped their coaches too, didn't they?
I think that's what I read. I think it said confirmed, but I don't know if it's like confirmed yet.
Yeah, and
But
then I mean, like compare that to because like I was telling you earlier, like I keep getting all this like T1 shit on my reels now, but like I've seen some of the voice comms of like when someone makes a mistake on their team and it's either, hey, it's okay, take a deep breath, keep playing, or it's like them playfully ribbing each other. Like in the finals when Doran just kind of inted on Camille because he thought he saw an angle and he went in and then he just like died in their base. I saw the voice comms for that, and Doran was just like, oh my god, I'm sorry. And Faker was literally just like, you don't have to apologize, just take a deep breath, we got this. So, like, that's kind of the dynamic because, yeah, if you have the opposite dynamic where players are raging at each other or coaches are yelling at them or whatever, then, like, they're not going to be able to handle those high pressure situations.
yeah, people have to play loose. And if people are afraid of making mistakes, then you've already lost at that point.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you talk about mistakes after the fact, you like, review so you don't make the same mistakes over and over again. But at the end of the day, if somebody makes a mistake and they just can feel like that's a wrap for them, then they aren't going to play the way they need to.
Or
So,
if they don't want to, or if they're afraid to make mistakes because their jungler will yell at them.
yeah. Yep.
So,
So it's like hard to tell exactly what's going on. Obviously, you need to make changes. Well, you don't need to, but whenever a team regresses, you do need to think, what changes do we need to make, right?
Exactly.
Sometimes you don't need to if you felt like the team got unlucky, but in this scenario, it did not look unlucky. Like
No.
they got a lot of luck with their draws. They had a lot of opportunities to make it to quarters, and they did not look close to
Yeah,
doing that.
no, they did not. They were out of sync. They didn't have their shit together. Like,
Yeah, we'll see. I'm very interested in the changes, the roster changes that happen. I guess maybe we'll talk about that next time because probably a lot of them will be done by the next time we do an episode. But we'll see how that goes. I guess let's
uh,
talk about the rest of the tournament.
well, I was gonna say, speaking of players cracking under pressure and teams possibly needing to make changes,
Oh God, don't do it. Don't. He's got a lot of fans. Don't say it.
Choky.
Oh
I mean,
God.
Chovy.
Oh right, yeah, that's his name. I have kind of just started calling him Choky.
Yeah, that kid's a full choker.
He is a little bit of a choke artist. Yeah, it is unfortunate. And the thing about
Um,
it, I just want to preface this. I don't. Neither one of us have any problem with him.
no,
I've got a problem with his fans.
I have a
I have a
problem.
I have a problem with his delusional fans that think he's not choking. That's the main people I have a problem with.
Or the casters acting surprised every single time.
But how many times does it need to happen before
Like
you're not
it should be
surprised?
just expected at this point.
Yeah, and it's not like sometimes nerves get the best of you. You know, when I feel very underprepared for something, I can get a bit nervous, even though I'm not nervous in any other situation.
Right.
So it's like, but some people are just nervous all the time, right? In this scenario, he's not nervous in general. He's not nervous in the season. He doesn't seem very nervous in the LCK playoffs. He doesn't seem nervous in MSI. But when he gets to Worlds, he seems nervous.
Yeah.
And in general, too, earlier in his career, it did, it's like, I think there's just thresholds for him not being nervous to where he needs to win something so he doesn't feel nervous about that event anymore, is what it kind of seems like.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's some people that will say stuff like he plays well in all these other tournaments. It's not nerves, blah, blah, blah.
He
But
even admitted it's nerves at this point, though.
yeah, I think as long as that was a real interview, I like read the manuscript of an interview. I didn't see it, and I don't speak Korean, but that is what I
Yeah.
read. Yeah,
Yeah.
so as long
That
as that was a
he
real
said the
interview, not a
anxiety
hater.
gets to him.
Yeah, it's kind of like I don't know. There just comes a point where you just need. This one looked bad. It looked very bad. It was
It,
undefendable this time.
yeah. I mean, it also looked like KT just knew that if they put pressure on Chovy, he would choke. And BDD just schooled him.
Yeah, it seems like BDD understood the assignment of like if I
Yeah.
push this guy, he
He'll
might
crack.
not. He won't respond well. You know what I mean? If I land this, he might not come back. And the first game he played pretty well. He was Talia, but then there came a point at the end of the game where he reaction Zanya'd BDD on Yone. It was either Yone's ult or his Q3.
And he
He
got
like,
Caitlyn trapped.
and because he's Zanya'd, he got Caitlyn trapped and he died. And then that essentially lost them the game. That one was not egregious, but that was a bad play. Probably shouldn't even build Zanya's when Caitlyn's in the game, right?
Yeah. But the Oriana game.
Well, so it's like that was the first one where you're like, ooh, like, and again, that's judging somebody very harshly, right? Because he just split second reactions, does that, even though he shouldn't. So it's like that's a defendable mistake, I would say.
Yeah.
But then the next game, or not the next game, because I think they won the next game. That was the game where he played Galio, and essentially the game was in Ruler's hands, right?
Yeah. And
And
they
then
won.
Ruler delivered. He essentially tanked. Ruler did his thing. They won. And then the next game was that the Zier game,
Oriana Azir.
and he was. Most people do not like that matchup, I believe. And I remember the casters talking about it beforehand, where he's willing to accept that matchup because he feels like he can do it.
He did not do it.
And BDD said,
Challenge accepted.
he said rebuttal, kind
Yeah.
sir. I do not agree. That one was bad. I mean, it seems like it started where he flashed in his zero ult and he didn't flash it, so he wasted his flash and died. And then they're like still going over the replay, and then he just kills him again as they're going over the replay for a
Yeah,
second time.
just solo kills him.
And then after that, he follows him top and then the caster's like, this happens sometimes where on the rare occasion where Chovy gets down, they'll send him top and they'll let him clear up there. And fucking Azir just follows him top and kills him there.
Yeah, he died 3 times back to back on cooldown.
He did trade a kill with, on that top dive, but regardless, he still is like losing XP every time that happens. You know what I mean? Like it's still worth it, even trading the kill. Because essentially at that point, he's like so far behind where he just got 3 deaths in a row. I think on game 1 too, he missed a Jarvan. Like Jarvan went on him, right? Was that the game where Jarvan ganked him and he tried to flash that and he just got hit by it and died?
Maybe.
After he flashed it. He like flashed too early or something on that. That was the point where I'm like, oh, this guy's nervous.
He also died with flash up when he shouldn't have in one game.
And it's like these are mistakes that happen, but just in general, the style that he has is a very controlled style where he just doesn't make mistakes like that. Yeah. So it wouldn't be like in general, if a player were doing these kind of things in pro play, it would be like he's playing bad. But for him, it's like playing egregiously bad.
Right.
Because he in general is just very controlled. It seems like he has like kind of the flawless counterattack style. Where I'm just going to whittle you down. I'm going to slowly choke you out. I'm not going to make mistakes. My flashes are always going to be good. So when he's just making these kind of like bad mid laner flashes, it's not just bad for him, it's way worse than that.
Right, because he's supposed to be the best mid laner in the world.
Or he's supposed to be the best player in the world.
Yeah.
So when you are the best player in the world, when you're regarded that way, the microscope's on you. And in general, you're going to get more accolades than you probably should. And you're also going to get more blame than you should when it happens. And that's kind of the microscope's on you, so everybody's watching.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I think some of the responsibility does go to like the team and coaches too for not being able to recognize this issue and play around it. Because like you said, they won the game where they put him on Galio and they let Ruler carry.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why are we not trying to do that more when we see that Chovy is not cool, calm, collected Chovy? He's choking. Like, we need to, like, not put all our eggs in the Chovy basket because he can't do it. He can't carry it right now.
Yeah, I think in basketball, when somebody's having a bad game, they really want to get them like start attacking, get to the free throw line.
Yeah.
See it go in a few times. You know what I mean? Like that's what they want. So I feel like it could be a similar thing in League, right? Let's give him something easy to play. The game's not completely in his hands. Let's do like a triple threat option rather than a 2-threat team. Because a lot of games they do like a 2-threat team.
Yeah.
Where they have like a couple tanks and then it's like him and Ruler and those are the carries. Like let's go with more of a triple threat team. But yeah, like you said, it didn't seem like the coaching staff recognized that. They're like, this doesn't happen every year.
Yeah, we haven't seen this play out multiple times.
Like I said, this one was worse. I think in his previous years, his style of choking wasn't real choking where he played really bad like this year.
Well, I mean, I think it was worse because KT or BDD specifically, they were bullying Chovy in those games.
I mean, maybe. I don't remember all of the other, from previous years. But just from what I recall, it seemed like he had the, like I hate this term, but he had like the quiet quitter kind of style where he's just like slowly losing grasp of the game and just not having the same impact that he usually does. Yeah. And so you watch the game and you're kind of like, well, he's not choking. He's not making egregious plays. He's just not doing what he normally does. So then other people are like, well, what's this guy doing? And they like look to his teammates like his teammates aren't playing as well as they should. But the issue is the team is constructed for him to play at his level. That's what they're used to.
Yeah.
And playing at your level creates creates less pressure for other players, right? Because you're applying pressure.
Right.
So other players can play easier if you're constantly winning. So when you're not winning, when you go from hard winning to hard losing, that's a much different team dynamic. So you can't be like, well, this player didn't get them out of this hole. Well, they're not used to doing that because they're used to Chovy being ahead.
Yeah.
So it's just like a weird take to be like, well, this guy should have done this and this guy should have done this when you can just see Chovy playing worse than he usually plays.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. So it's like I don't even have a problem with him. Like if he chokes, he chokes. I just have a problem with all his fans acting like it's not a real thing. Acting like somehow he's just like the unluckiest man on the planet. Like this guy's just the unluckiest motherfucker on the planet. It's just not working out. No, that's not fucking it. At the end of the day, he probably should have the last 3 titles, but instead Faker does.
Like that meme that I saw that was like, in Faker's prime, he won 3 world's titles, and in Chovy's prime, Faker won 3 more world's titles.
And the craziest thing about it is if Chovy had won those 3 titles, there would be serious conversation of who's better.
Yeah, like who's actually the GOAT.
Yeah, there would
But
actually be serious conversation, but instead he just solidified Faker.
instead, yeah, it's undisputable. I
Yeah,
don't know that there will ever be a player that has accomplished what Faker has.
yeah, I don't see that ever happening because, like,
And
even
it's
if it,
impossible for Chovy to catch up now.
yeah. When you lose that much, it's not really possible anymore. Um,
Especially when the person that you're
chasing,
yeah, is still winning titles.
yeah, and I mean, like, Faker isn't the driving force on that team like he was in his prime, but like he's still doing his thing.
Yeah.
And last year when they needed him, he did go berserk.
Yes, he did. They didn't need him to do that as much this
I
year.
legitimately think this might have been the best ensemble win that I've ever seen.
Yeah. Like everybody stepped up where they needed to.
You're a T1 fan. I am not. Let's get
I,
that out of the fucking way.
so okay, so let me preface this by saying I was not a hardcore T1 fan until I watched Worlds last year.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that before I start glazing a bit. Is I'm not a T1 fan. You
I
are.
am, and I'm here for the glazing.
Yeah, but I'm just saying this is probably the best ensemble win that I've ever seen where I'm like, they gave the MVP out and I personally felt like Owner played the best, but everybody on the team played very well. I
Yeah,
don't think anybody was wildly better than the next person, and I don't think anybody was like consistently fucking up. Everybody played lights out. Like I don't think it would have been crazy for Carrier to have gotten it. I don't think it was Guma got it. That wasn't crazy. I don't think it would have been crazy for Owner to get it. And I think Faker and Doran played very well too.
yeah,
Doran had some crazy like flanks
yeah, he
consistently.
did. Insane stuff.
So it's like most of the teams that have won worlds before, it feels like there's like 2 players that are just playing better than everyone else.
Yeah,
And this year, this T1 team in particular, it just felt like everybody played very well.
yeah, it was just completely rock solid.
Hmm.
I mean, they had some messy games earlier, but that's like not uncommon for them at Worlds or in general to like sort of struggle to get their footing. But then when the pressure is really on, it's like the reverse of Chovy. It's like they lock in. When the pressure is at its most, at its highest, they just like suddenly lock in and they're like a different team.
Yeah, the pressure makes them play slightly better, and a lot of other teams play slightly worse, and there's a big gap in that. I was looking too, and I'm looking at it right now. Some of these teams that Chovy's played for, by the way, some of the players that he's played with has been crazy.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go over some of this shit?
Yeah, go through it.
So his original team was well, the one that he played a lot with originally was Griffin. He had I don't know who Sword is, but Sword was their top laner. Tarzan was their jungler.
Tarzan.
Yeah, yeah. Viper was the AD,
Oh my god.
and Lehens was the support. I don't know exactly what Lehens is doing now, but he's been pretty solid. I don't know if he's fallen off. But that team was crazy, by
Viper
the
and
way.
Tarzan though is nuts.
That Lehens was very good at that time. I don't, like I said, I don't remember exactly how good he is now because I don't think he was on a Worlds team, and I don't just follow every game. But he was good for a very long time, Lehens. But that team was very young, by the way. So I don't like necessarily consider this choking, right? Because I think
Right.
in general, young teams aren't really supposed to win. Like it takes a couple years for players to really get in their own. So I don't consider just right off the bat it's choking. Then his next team, so that he played with that team for a while, right? Then he switched to DRX, where he had Doran as his top laner, Pioshik as the jungler, and then he had Deft as an AD carry, and Keria as the support. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so that team's crazy also. And then he went to HLE. This lineup does not look that great, so I don't think. But in this time, still he's like young, right? So I don't consider this choke. Even though there's tons of talent on these teams, a lot of these players are young. Not all of them, but a lot of them are. So it's kind of like they are. When you get into clutch situations, it's not crazy that they fall apart.
Yeah.
And then he went to HLE. Oh, I already talked about that. But then that roster was not crazy. It was like mainly him trying to carry. And then he went to Gen G. This is the start of the choking, in my opinion. And this is
Yeah.
2022. And this team, it started as Doran, Peanut, Chovy, Ruler, Lehens. Again, this team is insane, right?
Yeah.
And that team was in third or fourth at Worlds, where they lost to DRX 3-1.
And T1 went to grand finals, but lost.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, and then his next version of the team of Gen G was where they got Keen, so they lost Doran. He got Canyon as the jungler, who was
Oh my
regarded as like
god.
the best jungler at the time, right? And then they got Pays as the AD, and then they had Lehen still. And then and then that year they got, what did they get on Worlds that year? They got fifth through eighth, where they lost to BLG 3-2. Um, and then the next year is kind of the team that you know now. Oh no, it's not. The next year was the Pays Lehens team. They got third through fourth. And then this last one was this year, where they have Ruler again, where he came
Yeah.
back. So his teams, that's kind of the issue, is his teams have been fucking loaded. And there's a lot of players that have left his team and then gotten a world championship.
Yeah.
So Doran left, got one. Carrie has left and got them. And
Carrie has
Deft.
got 3.
Yeah, and Deft got one too.
Yeah.
So it's like people keep leaving him and getting titles. And he
Yeah.
has a, it's not like he's just some player that's trapped on like a bad franchise and he's just hard carrying and, he just can't carry enough once it gets to Worlds. He consistently has loaded rosters.
Yeah.
So that's like part of the choking too, because I think part of choking has to do with expectations. Like nobody says that 100 Thieves choked because the expectations were extremely low, right?
In the dirt, really.
Yeah, and then they outplayed their expectations. So everybody's like, man, they did a great job. These guys have consistently not. And there comes a point where you have to say it's not bad luck anymore. And I would say that was 2 years ago
Yeah.
is when it started not, and when it's just like, okay, this is a thing. And now it's like undisputable with how this one went, because this is the most nervous I feel like I've ever seen him,
Yeah.
where he's just kind of like missing routine plays for a pro player, not for like an everyday player, but he's missing routine plays for a pro, and he's supposed to be better than other pros.
Yeah, it was certainly fucking something. But yeah, BDD just had his fucking number. BDD, by the way, just played out of his mind.
I even told you this before. I feel like he should have gotten tournament MVP. I swear,
Yeah,
I feel like it's not common that a player on the losing side gets it, but I feel like he deserved it.
I don't like entirely disagree.
He kind of went fucking ballistic.
He did, yeah.
That was a whole fucking John Wick tournament by that guy. That was crazy.
The last game, the stats when he's on Smolder and he's like 7-2-4 or something. The rest of his team's just like 0-6-0-4. Like he's doing his best. He's trying so hard and it's just not enough into that fucking T1 roster.
You know, it felt like to me where he has a bit of the Chovy playstyle where he's very hard to get a hold of and he just does tons of damage. And whenever
Mhm.
you go for him, he kind of like does correct flashes. But he has more playmaking than Chovy.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing
Chovy's
that
Chovy's just I like I don't know like this like mid lane robot. Like he just plays very well, very consistent, gets ahead and does what he's supposed to do, but he doesn't have like the clutch factor, you
yeah.
know. He's not the playmaker. He's not going to be the one to step up when the pressure's on. Um
Which I mean, it's fine. Not everybody needs to be a playmaker. But when your style is being a robot and not making mistakes, you need to continue to do that.
right.
Yeah, like there's a
But
big
like
onus on you to make that happen.
yeah, I mean, after this, can we say that Chovy's not the best mid laner?
I mean, he is throughout the year, but he's prone to choking. I think you just have to kind of after this tournament, you kind of have to say BDD is the best right now.
I think so.
Because when I looked at that finals, it honestly felt like to me, and why I said I feel like he deserves the MVP. It felt like he was the best player in that finals, and 2 through 6 was T1.
Yeah.
It just that's the way it kind of played out for those games. There was just so many games like that Mel game in particular. He was so hard to get a hold of. There were tons of fights that just looked like losing fights, but then he would be alive at the end and he would like clutch it out barely.
Yeah.
Where it felt like it could go either way, and all of a sudden there's only two people alive. There was one 2v2 at the end where he died, but there were a lot of extremely close ones that looked like losses. He would throw a few abilities, now it's not a loss, and now it's in a 50-50 and he wins that 50-50. He just kept having team fights like that, and his team fights in general were just like that throughout that whole finals. But before those finals, he was going berserk also. That's why I kind of feel like he just deserved tournament MVP, but they just always give it to winner, I guess.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen it go to him.
What did KT's they lost to Team Secret Whales. So they beat MCOY, which
They were 3-0 going in. They didn't lose to.
oh no, they beat them. Yeah, sorry, I looked at that wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they 2-0'd Top Esports.
Yeah, which top looked a little iffy in general. But I mean, they like coming into that finals, they had only lost one game to Genji. And like
Yeah.
realistically, if they'd played a little bit better, they would have won the finals. I think
Yeah, those
for
games were
me in
close.
particular, it was that game 4 that they really fucked up with picking the Kench.
Yeah, picking it too
That
early.
that was the one that upset me the most. You know why?
It was so for context to those listening, before those games ever happened, we were talking about T1 has this comp they run that's just dive the carry.
Yeah, they
With
did
like
it
you
a few
I'm
times.
sure everyone's seen all the memes of Jackie Love just getting gang banged on repeat from that one game. But like they played that comp
I don't know why they haven't censored it. It's disgusting.
it is disgusting. He did it's not even Jackie Love's fault, man. He just was not allowed to play that
Yeah,
game.
no, everything just flies on me, just dies.
But like so we were talking and you said I think Tom Kench just beats that comp.
Yeah, the
Like there
full
has
dive
to be an
comp. There has to be
answer.
an answer of some kind. I mean, against full dive, I always forget her name. Who is that bitch that throws the AoE charm? Or the AoE like fight each other ability?
Oh, Renata?
Yeah, Renata. Like that's usually an answer to dive. But Kench is a very good answer to like diving on one person. It's the best answer. Like him
Yeah,
and
and when
Zillion, but
they're
Zillion's
they're
just not really played at all.
they're all throwing their ults just on Jackie Love and just like gang banging him on repeat. But so we had that conversation and you're like, I think Tom Kinch might be an answer. So we get into this game and we see T1 take the Nocturne. They took something else kind of divey. It gets to fourth pick and they KT takes the Kinch.
Yeah, I was saying like this could be a full dive comp, but you can't pick Kench now because they still have their mid and top to pick because they like haven't committed to full dive yet.
Yeah. So they take the Kinch early and T1 pivots. They don't pick all their full dive.
Yeah, they pick a Nivea Gragas instead.
Yeah.
And I firmly believe they were gonna go full dive that team.
They were. Yeah, absolutely. That's what they were looking for. And they saw the Kinch and they knew that that would counter what they were trying to do. So they pivoted and they saved some of those picks for the last game. And then there wasn't an answer.
And then the reason why Kench hasn't been getting picked in general is because he's bad in lane. So now they pick a Kench, which for the only reason I'm assuming is to beat dive. They have to struggle through a bad lane to use him, and then they're against a comp that's not a full dive comp.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like they just that game is the game that I really look at, like what is going on. And they had the choice to pick it fifth. They just needed to wait and be like support's fifth pick. But they fifth pick top. Um, but at that point they have like a useless support for the game. And then game 5, they go their full dive comp. And that full dive comp has just looked unbeatable. And I don't even know if the Kench beats it, but I just feel like that's the best answer. Like
Yeah.
obviously if I were on one of those teams, I would practice it a bunch against full dive and see how it goes. But I just me from the outside looking in, I felt like that was the answer to it.
Yeah.
Um and maybe it wasn't, but like that's the way I felt without practice and without playing with them. And then they just raw it a little bit too early, and I well, this game's a loss. So then yeah, they lose game 4, and then you see the full dive comp come out game 5. It's like, well, this is just going to be a loss too,
Yeah.
because that comp really did look unstoppable.
Yeah. It worked very well for T1 throughout most of the tournament.
And like the thing that indicated in game 4 that they were looking for the dive was the Nocturne, which is usually what they were pairing with the full dive.
Yeah, but they usually wanted the Nico too, and I think that KT had already picked it earlier in the tournament. I don't what support did they take in game 5?
It might have been the Renata. I don't remember though. I don't remember
It
who. Oh, I mean, game 4, it might have been Renata. I don't remember who they picked in that one.
cuz
But yeah, I mean, that's what all I'm saying though is that KT was very close to winning that series. And I think it mainly comes down to draft in game 4, game 5, not gameplay.
yeah.
Like, I'm a little upset at the coaches more than the players because I just feel like that should have been theirs. But hey, when it comes down to it, I guess there's a clutch factor to the coaches too.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because I feel like game 4 really was given by the Tom Kench pick when it could have been the savior.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I mean, there's always a chance they play it out and T1 still wins anyway, but that would have been their best chance to beat that comp that is just so unstoppable, and they kind of fumbled it, picking it too
Yeah, and
early.
hey, if that was their plan, just to pick the Gragas Anivia anyway, and they weren't going to go full dive, then you just would have picked a support on pick 5 that actually would have helped you in the game.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I mean? Because
mean
that was a big issue in the game was that bot lane was not very good, which is
I
why
mean,
you don't
I
want to
I
pick
think
Kench right now.
I think T1 was 100% looking for that dive comp there with the Nocturne, but
It's kind of like if you have a strategy to invite something in, you have to let it come. You have to allow it. Like you have to slam the Kench 5. You can't slam it 4.
yeah, I don't know if they were worried. I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking. I couldn't tell you. But at the end of the day, T1 Worlds, baby.
So yeah, I don't know. I feel like BDD's my MVP, but I guess you can give the Guma. Fucking crazy, bro.
I mean, I think that. So, my thing with giving MVP to an AD carry is like, AD carries aren't typically gonna be your big playmakers.
Yeah, that's why I
And
feel like it was weird.
yeah, but like, so then are AD carries just never allowed to get MVP because that's not the way their role plays? Like,
No,
it's
they're
kind of
allowed to get
silly. You
MVP,
have to
but
like compare them in their role.
I don't think he did enough, is what I'm saying.
Guma was up every single game, even in the games that they lost, even in the games that they were down. Like, he was always ahead of Duck Dom.
I
Like,
think the way that you really show that you're deserving of MVP or the MVP of a team in general as an AD carry is being in tight games, in games that are close, and where you consistently evade abilities and get kills at the back end where it's a close team fight. And the only game where he really had to do that, I feel like, was the Sivir game, and that's the game that was one of the games that they lost. So like all these other games where everybody's engaging and he's just gunning everybody down in the streets, it's like cool. Like I don't know how many ADs could do that, you know? So it's like he's playing rock solid. I just don't think he had a very hard finals.
I think part of it too is like, I don't know what all goes into choosing MVP, but like, if they're looking at the whole tournament or if they're just looking at finals, but like, there's also Guma had like kind of a hard year in general. Like, he got benched earlier in the year. Um, and so, it's also possible that they were like taking stuff like that into consideration and giving the MVP possibly for the narrative to some extent.
Maybe. I just feel like Owner played better than him in general. But I mean, like I said, it wasn't ensemble win. I think they could have given it to anybody. So it
Yeah.
really doesn't matter. Like I don't feel like bad about them giving it to Guma. I just feel like he wouldn't be my number one choice, but it's not egregious or anything. I
It's
just
not an unpopular opinion that it should have been owner or Carrier, which, like, by the way, that was like another thing I kind of wanted to like touch on just a little bit is like, when you look at this T1 roster, probably none of them are just the best in their role except for Carrier. I think Carrier is just the best support in the world. But
yeah, right now
like,
I think he is. It's like year to
yeah.
year, but yeah.
Yeah, but like right now I think it's Carrier and I don't really think that that's like up for discussion.
Yeah, I mean it
Um
depends how much like yeah, his impact is gigantic, I would say. Especially compared to other supports.
I also just fucking adore Carrier, but
I think his biggest strength is he's a lot more clever than other supports, which really shines a lot when he's playing Nico.
then I was about to say the fucking Nico game where he turned into the wolf so they couldn't see him on the map. And then it was the Jackie Love game because he sent the clone directly at them so they thought they were getting Nico ulted and started coming around the other way where he actually was. And then he Nico ulted. My mind was fucking blown. And then there was the other one, which was like, it might have been the same game and at the time when I first saw it, because like I'm not, I'm a fucking bronze player. I'm not that great, but I didn't understand why. I was like, Nico ulted like one person. I don't understand why people were freaking out about the play. It's because he stood still and pretended to be the clone. Like
Yeah.
he just like ran into them and then stood still for a moment. And they fucking bought it and ignored him. And then he fucking ulted on them. And I was like, he's insane, but like he's a god.
Also, like not everything's about getting the stun off too. So he gets the stun off on Jackie Love, right? That's the only person that got it.
I don't remember. I don't even remember. It was on two people, but one person
This is
flashed
the
out.
Nocturne game, right?
It was Nocturne Nico, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I remember the play. Yeah,
Cuz he transformed into Nocturne and ran at them and then stood still. and it was around Baron Pit.
Yeah, it's not always about getting it off though. Like he gets it off on Jackie Love. Pause. Um, and Nocturne flies in. They instantly kill Jackie Love with either. I think the Kaisa jumps in too, right? They're doing their full dive comp. They instantly kill Jackie Love. But also on top of that, he tries to get Corky in it. I believe it was Corky, and Corky uses his Valkyrie to the right. So he uses his Valkyrie to run away from the fight. It was either Valkyrie or Flash.
Jackie Love was quirky.
Was he? Okay, somebody
Yes.
else. It was the mid laner. Some other carry, like Flash to the right or down or
Yes. Yeah.
something. So, like, regardless of him hitting them with the stun, they still used an evasive ability away from the fight, which is essentially a stun.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
like a stun.
He
It's not like
split
a
the
stun.
fight.
And yeah, it's not a stun in the sense where you like kill that guy, but like you're killing one person and zoning a second. Like that's high value. So like not everything needs to be like a 4-man ult and you're like everybody's screaming, you know, where the casters just scream your name, the secondary guy.
Yeah.
Carrier! Where that's their only role is to scream somebody's name when they do something crazy. I love that shit, by the way. I
So
fucking love
good.
that.
It's infectious too, because now I started doing it.
I pointed it out to you and you're like, oh, it is kind of snappy. I love that shit. But not every play needs to be like a 3-man, 4-man, 5-man ult. Like those ones are very effective.
We did see some other crazy Nico shit throughout the tournament too.
Yeah, I mean he also like did that wolf wrap around where they don't see him on the mini map.
That was the first one I was talking about. Yeah, that was fucking crazy. That was the one where I was like, there's like something wrong with him, but in a good way. Like, he is so clever.
Yeah, and I think it's not like he's the only person willing to do this shit. I just feel like that might be the only team that allows their players to try shit like that.
Yeah. Which I think is why, like, maybe they struggle earlier in the year or they struggle earlier in the tournament because they're willing to fucking try shit.
Yeah, it's not like he's the only human being on the planet that like knows you can do that. But you never see other players do that because I think maybe they just don't have the freedom to try it.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, that was a crazy one.
It lives rent free in my head. I don't know. That's why it's like if they gave tournament MVP to carry, I'm not mad. Kid played out of his fucking mind.
But I almost feel like it was such an ensemble win, is why you should give it to BDD.
Yeah.
Is that not a case?
I wouldn't have been mad if they gave it to BDD. I felt like it was like, so going into this grand finals, I'm like, I want T1 to win. I'm a full on T1 Glazer at this point. I accept that. But if KT wins, I'm not mad because BDD has played out of his mind. And I don't know that I could say anyone else on his team has played as crazy as he has, obviously. And I think BDD on a better team, they might just win that. But BDD played crazy.
Yeah, and I mean the team played well throughout the whole tournament, like the other players. It's not like he was dragging them along the whole tournament. They were playing well in general.
Yeah.
But once they got there, it did feel like he was carrying them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It didn't feel like he was carrying them at all before that.
No, yeah, I agree. That like they all played well up until that point, but
yeah, once it got to that series, it did kind of feel like he was carrying the team at that point.
Once it got really tight, then it was like BDD was still on and the rest of the team was
a little off.
Yeah. It was rough. It was rough. But yeah, like I said, I wouldn't have been mad if KT did win. It wouldn't have been like, I don't know, like if it had come down to like T1 and Gen G, I would have been mad if Gen G won.
Yeah, because now you're a Genji hater, right?
Yeah, but it's not like because I don't hate the players. I don't hate Chovy. It's not his fault. But I just hate the fucking people that just like stroke him off. Like
I can't handle. Sometimes I need to mute the casters for a little bit because I just feel like they're just bricked up talking about the guy. You know what I mean? It just feels like there's some intimate conversation going, and I don't feel like I should be hearing it. It's a little crazy.
what was that one game where the caster kept talking about Busio's biceps.
He wouldn't shut up about it. It was
It, like
like,
it was like fine that he mentioned it once, but he like kept going on and on about it, and I'm like, dude,
and only think if Busio was on the best team in the world, it would be even worse. You know?
God, I would hate Busio, and I like Busio.
Yeah, but it's just there's something about these guys. They're just strokers. They can't help themselves.
Oh my God, yeah, I don't, yeah. It's like the same thing happens to like T1 though, where they like super glaze Faker, and I'm like, Faker didn't even have to do Faker shit in the finals because his whole team was playing so solid. Like Owner was being amazing, Carrier was being amazing, Doran was doing sick shit, Guma's, so it was just like, but it's just like I still feel like sometimes Faker, and I love Faker, huge Faker fan, but sometimes Faker gets like more credit than is maybe deserved because of like his legacy, which his legacy is deserved, obviously. But it's like, you know,
No, I understand exactly what
it's
you're
the
saying.
Oriana ult
But
problem.
yeah, where like the first CC lands and then the second one is the Oriana and then but then
Uh-huh.
that secondary caster just yells Faker and you're like, "Oh, he did it?" "Oh, no, he didn't do it. The Cho'Gath flash silenced." That's the person that started the
Faker's,
play.
what is her fucking ult called?
Shockwave?
Shockwave. Faker Shockwave finds them all, and it's yeah, because Cho'Gath flash silence knocked them up.
Yeah, that's like that
Like,
wasn't from this tournament. That was from a previous one, but
it
that
was
was like
from
a
8 years ago.
that was a giant highlight they just kept showing but then it's like you keep seeing that. I'm like, "Wait, these rat fucks? Are they
It
out of
was
their
well,
mind?"
they did it again with G2. Caps landed a huge shockwave, but it was like heavily set up by like Rel
Rel?
and whatever. And it's just like, yeah, it would have been a bad player if he missed that shockwave like it was gift wrapped for him.
Yeah, it's like Rel started it, and then like Mundo had the ball on him, and he flashed in. And it's like obviously that takes a lot of coordination, but just yelling out Cap's name like he's like your dad that left with to go look for milk 10 years ago, and you finally saw him again for the first time. It seems a little crazy of a thing to say, you know?
And then they also compared it to like the Faker shockwave. Like they made a reel where it was like comparing it. It did happen at almost the same
Spot.
spot in the lane and
Hmm.
stuff too. But like the thing was that made the T1 play so legendary is that they were down 11,000 gold at that point, whereas G2 was ahead.
Yeah, and like game state, that was the Mundo game where they were just like kind of destined to win unless they fucked it up.
Yeah, they had lost a team fight right before that a little bit. And so it looked like maybe Fly could get back in, but like not really because they were still down a lot. Um, but they had just lost a team fight, G2 had. And then I think Fly kind of like overextended and then got shocked wave and I saw the comms for that by the way and it was so funny because Caps is just like very politely going, "Kill them, please. Kill them. Can we kill them, please?" Like, like there's like this huge game-ending moment, and Caps is just very politely being like, "Okay, let's." And then like they did it, and there he's like, "We did it, guys." I was like, "Why is Caps kind of cute though?" Like he was precious.
I think that also happened a few other times too, where somebody lands like a CC and then the shockwave hits. Why does it always fucking happen with Oriana?
I don't know because the shockwave is so big and flashy,
Yeah,
and it does so much fucking damage.
because
I
what on the I
guess.
don't remember which teams were playing. It might have been Caps again, but I don't 100% remember. But there was like a play on red side right next to the chickens, that like jungle piece where like I think Nico bound somebody and then the shockwave went in after, and then of course the caster yells about the shockwave. And
Yeah.
it's like the guy's bound. He can't move.
Yeah, it would have been bad if the
You're
shockwave
like
missed.
somebody's just like bound in chains and he just punched him in the face. Like what like we're celebrating this guy? This guy's a terrorist. This is crazy.
I feel like yeah, but so I feel like that happens with Faker a lot too, where his like whole team is just playing like amazingly, and then they're like Faker, And I'm like, yeah, Faker is really great, but like that was not his play.
It does seem like at this point, Faker. I mean, he's out of his prime. Some people say he's still in it, but I think they're just delulu. Um, he doesn't like win lanes like he used to. You know?
Yeah. He's also played this whole year with an injury.
Yeah, I mean, he might just that might just be how his life is from now on. You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
seems like
yeah, for sure.
it's just like overuse injuries. So it's
Yeah.
just not necessarily like he broke something. You know, it's just kind of
Yeah, I
how it
mean,
is
he's
now.
been playing for a really long time.
Yeah, so it's like in general, he's not looked to for a person to generate leads, but his biggest value, some of it's unknown because right there's some like leadership aspect where
Yes.
Doran came into the team and looks like a different player than what he used to be. He was always
Yes.
regarded as one of the best top laners, but maybe like the seventh, eighth, something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Five, six, seven, eight, somewhere around there. He was not regarded as like the best of the best. And he comes in and he performs better than what people expected. In some
Yeah.
fashion, that's the coaches. In some fashion, that's the leadership. Faker is a big part of that leadership. As a person on the outside looking in, it's impossible to tell what percentage of that goes to him, but certainly some of it does. You know,
I think he sets the tone.
yeah, some of the value, yeah, some of the value like we can't necessarily tell, but we know some of it's him. But then the other piece that's his value is when a game gets down, when it looks like it's a loss, he does have an uncanny knack for finding angles that other people don't seem to see existing.
The clutch factor.
And in this world, it wasn't really required.
Exactly.
So yeah, he was, he gets glazed. He is always getting glazed, but he wasn't really needed this time to like pull
Yeah.
off these heroic plays. He
Unlike
probably
last year, that fucking
last
Silas play.
yeah, last year it was required and he stepped up and he did his thing. So last year he deserved a lot of the praise. This year he played well. You know what I mean? He
Yeah,
didn't play bad.
he deserved MVP last year. He won them worlds.
Yeah, it looked like a for sure loss. Like if that was Chovy on their team, he wouldn't have found those angles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
though air quotes he's better than him. Um, he just wouldn't have found the angles. He would have cracked. He was 100% required last year. This year he played well. Obviously, there's a leadership factor, so maybe he's more required than we know, but it's hard to tell. But yeah, the angles weren't required this time. The whole team was just playing very well.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And like last year, I like when you watched the games, you could just almost see the point where he turned it on, like a switch almost, where he's just like gone into faker mode and he's like looking for these angles and doing impossible shit and getting impossible plays and winning games that they shouldn't be winning. Um, I think I even saw like an interview with Carrier where he said something about he's like I noticed a change in the way that he was playing. So it is just I don't know. Kid I say the kid, he's 30 years old. He is something else. Yeah, I don't know that we'll ever see another player quite like him.
I mean, I just don't feel like we even can in league. At least
Yeah, yeah,
we'll see
it's
it in another game, but at this point, like I don't think league's not gonna be played forever. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
but even if it's in another game, that's what I'm saying. What's so like crazy about Faker is that like even if we see something like that in another game, that player will probably just be referred to as like the Faker of whatever game.
Yeah, he probably will be to an extent. Yeah, it has been kind of nuts. I mean,
Yeah.
there are players that have been like dominant on single player games, but to do it in a team game, it's a lot harder because
Yes.
there's a lot more like other factors of like how well people play, the psychology of your team, how well you lead. So there's all these other factors that like add to the RNG a bit.
Yeah.
So him succeeding this much, um, it is a hard thing to top. But like I said, man, if Chobi just had the clutch gene also, this would be a much different story. Because
Yeah.
right now it'd be like, well, it'd be like, well, Faker's on the decline and this guy's won 3 in a row. How many more is he going to win? How many more is he matched with just these three, or does he need more? Right, and then it would be so it would be a different discussion. But yeah, Chovy has not made it happen.
I hope that T1 learned their lesson after last year and that they don't make any roster changes because clearly this lineup is
Yeah, yeah, it was kind of
working
crazy.
incredibly well. But I mean, and like you said, just to go back and touch on a little bit, Doran, just almost a completely, not a different player, but we still see some Doran plays, the Krug Lord. Um,
Yeah, I mean, it kind of, from this tournament, it kind of looked like Keen is the best top laner in the world, and Doran is in whatever that second group is. Whereas like before this year, he would kind of probably be regarded in the third group. So he like went up a full tier, you know.
yeah,
Um,
and if he keeps playing with them, which I think he will, um, like I mentioned to you like earlier, like I rumors that they're signing him and giving him a raise and stuff.
I
I
mean, they
don't know if
should.
that's true at all. Yeah. But if he keeps playing with them, he might also only just get better.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason when you're that high up, it's like year to year where you stand. It's like I feel like owner some years he's been the best jungler in the world. It looked like Tarzan was better than him this year. And
Tarzan did play crazy.
that AL series where they played AL, it did look like Tarzan was a little bit better. But next year owner might be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like slight things vary. It's like when you're that high up, it's not like a big deal saying somebody else played slightly better than you. Like you're right next to him. But like
Yeah.
this is like the highest he's ever been.
Yeah, this is peak Doran because especially he's been known for specifically not playing well internationally, Doran.
Yeah.
And that did not seem to be a problem at all.
No, he didn't seem to have any nerves or anything. I mean, maybe he did, but it didn't show really.
Yeah, and he seemed to be fine in his element.
He didn't like try and go past the turret with Rek'Sai and then just int the whole series. He didn't do anything
He
crazy like
did
that.
not. No.
Yeah.
He did dive there. He did die in that one dive on Camille in the finals where he just like inted into their base, but like they were already up so big it didn't matter.
They were up very big. I mean, it's like obviously he can see weird angles and sometimes he gets um killed by his own kind of fishing for a play.
Yeah.
But he limited that a lot on T1. It wasn't there were way more successful plays than there were head scratchers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
for
like
sure.
that's like one of the positives of him, and it seems like they made it a higher percentage positive.
Yes.
They didn't just say, "Hey, you don't do that at all. You don't search for these angles anymore because you're going to get punished." They said, "Let's limit the amount of times you get punished," and he still gets punished, but not nearly at the clip that he used to.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
I mean, there's always going to be times when any player is like looking for an angle and instead gets killed. I've like Faker did it in one game. I don't think it was in the finals, but he like had that really aggressive TP where they just saw the TP and just like Poppy like bang like just smashed him.
Hmm.
Um so like even Faker, does sometimes do like kind of dumb shit. So it's like it's going to happen and it seems like almost like some of the pressure, maybe because of like T1's playstyle or Faker's leadership or whatever cuz like I said like heard the comms from that Camille dive where he died. And Faker just told him that he didn't need to apologize, to just take a deep breath and, like, we got this. So it's like, maybe other teams aren't like that.
Well, for sure they aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean you can see it, but yeah, I don't know. It's like in a game like League, there's 8 million decisions that you have to make every game. You're gonna make mistakes. Um, just it's like how many unforced errors you make, how many mistakes that you made were like that were pressured by them, right?
Yeah.
Because there's kind of a difference in those two things, and you're still gonna make some mistakes where you just didn't flash on time, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. So it's like you can make a low light reel of anybody, right? That's
Yeah.
played a lot because they're just gonna fuck up. But it's just like how often you fuck up and how like much does it put your team down? You're gonna fuck up, you know. You
Yeah.
can't just be like, well, this guy made this one mistake here, like he's bad. Like I don't know, it's like you're just gonna get. Sometimes the enemy team just makes a good play on you, and you know you didn't react 100% correctly. That doesn't mean you're bad. But he obviously controlled his chaos a lot this
Yeah.
second half of the year. Like he just got better.
Yeah, for sure. Um, got any more thoughts
I'm just
on
interested in the
Worlds?
roster changes that are going to happen, but there's no need to even speculate that much. I'd rather just let
Yeah.
them roll in and see what happens.
Yeah, we can
So,
definitely talk about that at a later time.
yeah, I'd say that's a wrap.
That is that is a wrap.
You figured out what your name is yet?
Um,
I'm telling you right now, it's going to turn into the nameless thing if you don't figure it out.
I'll figure it out.
That's not a
It's
bad name.
it's got to be better than Goose though.
Well, good luck with that.